Okay, now that we have all our installation up and running and everything is set, let's go down into PHP in full. Now we have our hello world. How do we display text out to the world? So now that we have it running, we'll start with the syntax. A syntax is the structure of statement in a computer language. It is the way in which languages are written. Every language has a syntax. The English language has some syntax you use and the way you write the words that make it presentable and understandable. Same for programming languages. They have formats and structured patterns in which the languages must be written in. A PHP script is executed on the server and the plain HTML result is sent back to the browser. So that is to say a PHP file is written within an HTML and it is outputted back to the browser. A PHP script starts with PHP, starts with less than with question mark and PHP and ends with question mark greater than. Okay, we also, it can be written in this format. We have the PHP code goes here and this. The default PHP extension for PHP is .php. Okay, so I'll be showing you that I have mine. To start that, I'll just be going straight to my server here, putting on my server, my XAMPP server. For Windows users, it's going to be slightly different, and I'll go to my managed servers and go to, in the next video I'll be showing you how to run your XAMPP on Windows. So once I have my server starting up, once it's running, I can go and create a new file, call it index.php. Once my server is up and running, I'll go and go to file, and I'll be creating a new project. Okay, creating my workspace. What is a workspace? A workspace is a document or a selected space on your system where you keep all your work. Now, for using your PHP files, your PHP file has to be stored within the server. So if I'm creating a new, Control N to create a new file, I'll be saving it, Control S, and I'll be saving it in my document file. In my application, I'll go down to XAMPP, where XAMPP is stored, open XAMPP, and I'll locate htdocs. That is where all my HTML files or PHP files are going to be stored inside the htdocs. In the next video, I'll be showing you how to navigate for Windows users. Okay, so I can create a new folder and call the folder udevop and create the folder, and inside the folder I store my file as index.php and I click on save. So why index.php? Our index file is the first file our web browser read. Whenever the web browser loads, the first thing it looks for is the index file. So index file for any programming language or for every language you are using, whether it be JS or HTML or XML or whatever it is, or Python, it must be index dot the extension. So we have our index.html file written. So once we have it saved, and we can go ahead and do basic outputting. Like I said, the PHP file starts with this and ends with that. Okay, so once we have it all set up, we can come in. I zoomed it so we can see it clearly. So we can come to our code. We have it, the PHP file extension and the PHP syntax for writing. Then we have our first line. We have echo hello udevop, put it. Now look at this file very simply. We have echo, which is our way of outputting a file or telling the browser that display this file. And we have it. Notice that after the echo, we are starting with a double quotes. It can come in either a double quote or a single quote, but most importantly, our file must be in quote. If I copy this file and output it this way, and just to show us that it's going to be the same way, we have it in single quote, and we'll be doing this. Okay, to let us know this, I'm going to be talking about comments. How do we comment in PHP? What is a comment? A comment is a way of keeping a file or a line of code without actually displaying the line of code to the world. So if I'm writing a code and I want it to be visible only to me on the back as I'm seeing it, and I don't want it to be visible to the public, all I do is comment. And to comment on PHP, you put your cursor in front of the line of code and simply put the two backslashes. It grays it out, which means it can only be visible to you and will not be displayed on the web browser. So I was talking about echo the other time. I said echo is a way to display your work. You can either use echo, or you can also use print. And let's use this thing, then we'll be seeing the various output and what it is. Also note that there is a semicolon at the end of the file. Every time you have a line of code, always end it with a semicolon in order for it to run smoothly. So I'm going to start by commenting out print, commenting out echo, saving it, and I'll go to my browser and click on type the local host /udevelop and click it. Now we have the echo udevelop here. We have the hello udevelop. That's the first one we did. And if I go and echo it out or comment it out and open this for display and reload the browser, we have the same thing still written. If I gray out the browser, just so we know that what is written, if gray out, we have nothing because I commented everything out. So if I have it here, print also hello, we also have the same thing. So it's also easy to do that, and either of the three ways is going to work, but mostly echo is more flexible, so we'll be using more of echo at every point in time.